Come and listen to the story of the cozy house in the silent woods. In the heart of a vast forest, so silent that only the whisper of the wind and the distant calls of birds could be heard, there stood a solitary house. A simple wooden home surrounded by a magical fence that guarded against every danger from outside. Before it stretched a wide green garden, blooming with colorful flowers and vegetables that nourished the family within. This place was known as the cozy house. Each morning, the father tended the vegetable patch, the mother gathered flowers to brighten the table, and their son watered the plants with a smile. Life here was not luxurious, but it was warm and safe. "We have little, but it is enough," the mother often said. One night, footsteps echoed outside. Thud, thud, thud. Yet the magical fence glowed softly, guarding the home within. A deep voice called, "I am hungry and weary. Might you spare some food?" The father turned to his family and whispered, "We are safe within these walls. There is no need for fear. When our hearts are calm, we can show compassion without danger." So the mother placed bread and fruit upon a magical tray, sending it floating over the fence. The shadow outside took the food and grew silent. The boy asked, "Father, if we give them food, are we sure they will not harm us?" The father smiled and answered, "My son, compassion must walk hand in hand with wisdom. We may help, but we must also guard ourselves. For compassion without wisdom may lead us into danger." One night, as the family sat together telling stories, a knock echoed on the door. Knock, knock, knock. "I am so cold. May I come inside your warm home to rest?" The boy's eyes widened with worry as he looked to his parents. "Father, if he speaks the truth, wouldn't it be too cruel not to open the door?" The father placed his hand gently on his son's shoulder and spoke calmly. "My son, compassion is not opening the heart without caution. This house is protected by a magical fence. We can help, but we need not open the door." The mother nodded, placing a warm blanket and some food upon the magical tray. The tray glowed and floated beyond the fence as she spoke softly through the magical speaker. "You shall have food and a blanket to ease your cold, but forgive us, for this door must never be opened." The shadow outside fell silent for a moment, then replied in a hushed voice, "Thank you for sharing with me." The next night, as the family sat down for supper, a voice shouted from beyond the gate, "The food from last night was not enough. I want more. Open the door now." The boy startled. "Father, he no longer sounds like a hungry guest. It feels like he's trying to force us." The father nodded calmly. "Yes, my son. Compassion is not granting every demand. If we give without wisdom, we will be used, and suffering will follow." The mother placed a single piece of bread on the magical tray this time. Her voice grew firm as she spoke through the magical speaker. "We are glad to share, but only within our means. If this is not enough, seek another way. The door will not be opened." A growl rumbled outside, grrr, before fading slowly into the darkness. After the night of the dissatisfied guest, the father pondered deeply. Though the magical barrier around the house was already thick and strong, he decided to add yet another layer, so the family could live in peace of mind. That night, he lit a lantern in the garden and chanted ancient words. The fence glowed brighter, forming 3 layers, like shining walls of crystal no harm could breach. Strong protection ensures that compassion never turns into danger, the father said with a gentle smile to his son. But he did not stop there. He created a spell of guidance, an enchantment that spoke with a calm, steady voice each time a demon came to take food from the magical tray. The hunger of the body is eased with food, but the hunger of anger is eased with compassion. If you wish for peace, harm no one. True compassion turns shadows into light. The following night, when a demon came to take fruit from the tray, the voice rang gently in its ears. The creature froze for a moment, as if the words had softened its heart. The boy grinned. "Father, now we are not only giving food, we are giving wisdom too." The father nodded slowly. "Yes, my son. Compassion guided by wisdom does not only feed the body, but can also change the soul." Night after night, many demons still came to the cozy house. Yet each time they received food, they also heard the gentle voice of the guiding spell. Hunger is eased with food, but anger is eased with compassion. If you wish for peace, harm no one. Some began to smile. Some even helped clear the fallen leaves around the house. And though some did not change immediately, none dared to harm again. The boy gazed beyond the fence and whispered, "Father, this forest doesn't feel the same anymore. It isn't as frightening as before." The father smiled warmly. "Yes, my son, compassion, guided by wisdom, can turn shadows into light." The mother added softly, "But everything takes time. As long as we keep this house safe, we can slowly transform this silent forest into a place of happiness." The family looked at their garden blooming under the breeze. Though the world outside still held many shadows, their hearts were filled with light. Moral of the story: always show compassion to others, yet let it be guided by wisdom. For compassion with wisdom allows both ourselves and others to live safely and in true happiness.